Police officers are expected to safeguard the public from potential threats. But what unfolds when law enforcement discovers the presence of a pedophile within their ranks?
Found in the deleted section?
I can't give you that.
Scared to death.
I use toys.
Here are two instances when law enforcement officers discovered that their colleague was involved in illicit activities involving minors. It begins with the case of Detective Robert Strang. On May 25, 2022, officers were dispatched to apprehend Strand following a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, indicating his possession of 100 child sexual abuse materials.
Have you do me a favor, sit your paperwork on the tailgate right there. Go ahead and place your hands behind your back for me. Go ahead and relax your legs. Okay. I want to get you into this vehicle quickly. Okay. But I don't want you to take anything you don't need to have.
2 months before Robert's arrest, law enforcement officers secured a search warrant for his internet history. Upon examination, they uncovered that he had downloaded over 90 images depicting girls barely 13 years old and juveniles as young as infants being sexually abused by adults. The details were alarming, leading to the issuance of an arrest warrant for charges related to the possession of child pornography and the sexual exploitation of children.
You're being placed under arrest where we'll be getting an arrest warrant for you, sworn out today for possession of child pornography or possession of sexual exploitation of a child of children possession statute.
Okay, the biggest thing for me is I do this for everybody. I don't want a big scene made about anything. So I'm going to be as discreet as possible. Cooperate with me, we'll be fine. Let's get this portion done and do what we got to do.
When officers approached Robert for arrest, they emphasized the charges against him and the legal processes underway. They also clarified that the arrest warrant had been issued, and the next steps involved his transportation to a designated meeting point where officers from another police department would assume control of the case. Robert, taken by surprise, was urged to cooperate discreetly, with officers assuring him that a scene would be avoided. Despite the gravity of the situation, Robert's unexpected calmness raised concerns. The officers explained the reason for his arrest and the subsequent procedures for his transfer to the custody of another police department. The absence of visible anxiety or concern from Robert added an unsettling dimension to the unfolding events.
Yes, sir. Pick up your dogs?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, let me get I'm gonna bring you a notepad out. I'll get the information. Absolutely, we'll do that. Are those cuffs good for you? Yes. Okay. All right, sir, go ahead and give me the name.
It's going to be Sherry
Sherry.
Strand. S-T-R-A-N-D.
Okay. Is there anything that she needs to know other than just take the dogs?
Just take the dogs.
Okay, as soon as they're completed the residence with the search warrant, I'll let her know and we'll get that handled for you.
Robert understood that in the event of being convicted and found guilty of the alleged felony, he could face a prison sentence ranging from 5 to 20 years. Interestingly, he appeared untroubled by this potential outcome and instead expressed more concern about the well-being of his dogs during the arrest. Simultaneously, additional officers were sent with a search warrant for his home, aiming to gather comprehensive information about the case, a goal that aligned with Robert's interest in understanding the situation.
So, I know you probably can't tell me what we're in our life. Was it, yeah, just tell me if it was in the deleted section?
Sir, I don't see. I'm not that guy.
Oh, okay.
So
I know there was nothing.
Yeah, I don't deal with the forensics. I'm unaware of how that operates.
Right.
I mean, I have a very, very small IQ when it comes to that, but I'm sure that Special Agent Pena will be able to answer some questions for you. Absolutely.
Okay.
I wish I did, but I do not.
No, you're fine. So what happens from
They'll go ahead and finish processing all the scenes.
Okay.
We're going to turn you over to Rio Rancho Police Department for transport and detention.
Okay.
And
Is it going to be this jail here or Santa Fe? Do you know?
sir, I don't.
Okay, so
I'm
it'll
unaware
be
of
this
how.
jail.
Yeah, I'm unaware how Rio Rancho deals with these types of detentions. I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm sure we'll advise them of who you are,
Okay.
and so that'll be taken into consideration, of course.
I really wish you guys would take me to jail because Rio knows me just as well. That's what's
Yeah.
the baddest.
We've made it a policy we utilize New Mexico State Police or local jurisdictional
Right.
officers to transport for us. So that's kind of how we run the process.
In the course of interrogation, Robert confirmed the existence of child sexual abuse material on his phone, disclosing that he had deleted them immediately after viewing them, but in their search, agents discovered a GIF of a girl between 6 and 10 years old being sexually abused by a man, alongside photos of Strand having sexual relations with a computer-generated preteen male. After minutes of waiting for his transport, Robert became increasingly anxious and began asking questions that had already been answered.
Not much you can answer, but was that found in the deleted section?
I can't give you that right now.
Okay.
It'll be listed in the where it was found
Okay.
in the arrest warrant.
Yeah. Anything I knew about was.
Okay. All right.
That's why I was asking.
Okay, no problem.
I didn't think I was being arrested for that.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
So what's next?
What's next is Rio's coming. They're gonna transport you to their holding cell,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna finish out my warrant, send it to my prosecutors. Prosecutor's gonna approve it, and then I'm gonna walk over here and get a judge to look to see if I can get a judge to sign the arrest warrant. Once the arrest warrant is signed out, you'll be booked on that arrest warrant. All right. Any other questions?
No, I appreciate you guys.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Robert, who had recently become a detective, had been with the police department for 8 years before his crimes were uncovered. He was placed on administrative leave and charged with 5 counts of possession. After being released on bail, Robert was barred from having unsupervised internet access and prohibited from going to areas where children below the age of 16 could be present. Although Robert's case was distasteful, this subsequent case concerned a deputy sheriff in urgent need of legal representation.
Can I ask, is this something I should have lawyers on?
In April 2020, authorities received an anonymous tip indicating that Officer Jalen Devon was sexually involved with a minor. Unaware of the report, Jalen arrived at the county sheriff's jail where he was employed. Subsequently, he was summoned to the interrogation room, where he would soon confront the unfortunate reality that awaited him.
We're actually doing an investigation on some allegations that we have to obviously look into. You're a law enforcement officer, so you know that we look into everything.
After reading him his rights, the detective initiated questioning Jalen about his personal life. This approach aimed to establish rapport and create a comfortable and non-threatening environment.
And I hear your schedule recently changed. How do you feel about the schedule
it's long.
change?
Yeah. 7, 12 and a half in a row. Kills you. 7 off is nice, but it flies by. So.
The detective inquired about Jalen's recent schedule change, asking how he felt about it. Jalen, perhaps thinking that these personal details were irrelevant to the minor-related case, shared information about his schedule, mentioning the challenges of working consecutive 12-and-a-half-hour shifts. Little did he know that these seemingly insignificant details would later prove to be crucial in the interrogation process.
I know when it comes to Facebook, you connect it to an email address. And then your Instagram account, what, same email?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And I know sometimes with Snapchat, they'll have you either sign up with a phone number or an email.
I believe it's my phone number.
With seemingly innocent motives, the detectives now had Jalen's email address and phone number. However, despite answering all the questions posed to him, Jalen exhibited signs of nervousness. His arms were crossed, and he swayed in his chair, clear indications of anxiety. This reaction was understandable, considering Jalen's profession as a police officer. Being on the other side of the interrogation room, not in the role of the questioner, but the one being questioned. He likely sensed that something significant was unfolding.
I will ask what this is about.
Yeah, so we're looking into some allegations that were made. We're kind of, it started with a Crime Stopper report, so we're just kind of going from there. We did receive a picture that, when we looked into it, it looks similar to you. So I don't know if you can take a look at the picture and just tell me if you've seen this picture before. Whoop. So this picture right here.
Yeah, that's definitely me. I went to Grossmont.
Okay, so this picture right here, how old were you when it was taken?
I don't know, 20?
20? Have you ever used this picture on any social media site?
I think it was Snapchat back in the day, yeah.
Okay. Alright. Have you ever shared this picture with anybody on Snapchat?
Yeah, probably with my wife, to be honest. I mean, obviously I talked to other girls back in the day too, but I can't remember.
Okay.
The detective presented Jalen with a picture linking him to the reports, and Jalen vehemently denied sending it to anyone other than his wife and some girls on Snapchat a long time ago. Throughout the questioning, Jalen kept his eyes down and avoided the detective's gaze, actions that did not escape notice. The detective observed this behavior closely, recognizing its significance in the unfolding interrogation.
This photo came up in connection with some allegations about you communicating with a younger female on Snapchat.
Okay.
Have you ever communicated with any females that we've already recognized that yes you have with your recruit from the past? Is there anyone else you've communicated with on Snapchat?
I mean, back then, no, just close friends and coworkers and stuff like that.
Anyone recently?
No.
This marked Jalen's 5th year as a police officer, and during his half-decade of training, he had become adept at remaining calm and concealing his emotions when necessary. However, the detectives picked up on the one-word replies, closed body language, and evasion of eye contact. These signs set off alarms, indicating that there was something Jalen didn't want them to know. It didn't take long for him to realize that the detectives were already aware of a lot more than he initially thought.
Well, along with the photo came some additional information about your personal life.
Okay.
And based on some of the information you shared with me today, it seems to add up.
Okay.
So is there any reason why the person would say they're you and share your information?
Sounds like it'd be someone that knows me then, obviously. I don't know who. I don't have any enemies that would be doing something like that.
During the interrogation of suspects, detectives are legally allowed to deceive by claiming they have evidence that incriminates the suspect. This tactic is employed to make suspects feel helpless and encourage them to confess. As a police officer, Jalen was well aware of this strategy. Rather than calling their bluff, he chose to double down and asserted that it was an enemy who had shared his information. Jalen believed that the only way the detective could be certain he wasn't bluffing was if she somehow knew the exact details he had shared with the minor.
Can I ask what information was shared? What they know?
We know that you're a baseball player.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people know that.
Yeah. So that information was kind of shared.
Okay.
Your work schedule.
It's been 5 years now I've worked here.
Specifically the transition to 7 days on, 7 days off.
Really? I haven't shared anything like that recently. So I couldn't tell you who that would be.
Jalen, with a stiff posture, was breathing heavily into his chest, and he had his arms wrapped around himself, seeking comfort. It dawned on him that he had misunderstood the detective's seemingly friendly demeanor as a sign of ignorance. It became evident that the situation was only going to escalate from this point forward.
I know as an athlete, sometimes when I would do my usernames and stuff, I would kind of use a combination of my things that I know about myself, right? So that way I wouldn't forget it. So this particular picture came from an account with this username, right? J178211. Okay. And I recognize that your jersey name in college was 17.
Yes, it
and
was.
then high school was 82, and it was 11. In
I
2011?
never had 11.
No, as far as you graduated in 2011.
I did, yeah.
And it goes by Jay, and it is a Snapchat account that has some links to you.
Okay.
Okay? Jay, I'll be very honest, I want to know the truth.
Yeah, no, I never even heard of that account.
Okay.
The Snapchat account responsible for sharing Jalen's picture and personal details with the minor was identified as J178211. This combination reflected his name, with 17 representing his baseball jersey number in college, 82 his high school jersey number, and 11 indicating his graduation year in 2011. Furthermore, it was linked to Jalen's email address and phone number. After facing several questions, Jalen requested legal representation, though regrettably, it came a bit too late. This case involved 4 victims aged between 12 and 14. Prosecutors argued that there were more than 41 victims, but their ages couldn't be verified. Jalen pleaded guilty to 18 felony and 2 misdemeanor charges, receiving a 12-year sentence in state prison. In conclusion, the cases of Detective Robert Strand and Officer Jalen Devon shed light on the disturbing reality of law enforcement officers engaging in illicit activities involving minors. The discovery of such actions within their ranks raises serious questions about the trust and responsibility placed upon police officers to safeguard the public. Both cases underscore the challenges in maintaining the integrity of law enforcement and the need for thorough investigations within police departments. The perpetrators, entrusted with upholding the law, betrayed that trust, highlighting the importance of accountability, transparency, and robust screening processes within law enforcement agencies. As these cases reveal, the legal system must address such offenses promptly and diligently. The consequences of these officers' actions not only impacted their lives, but also left a trail of victims who suffered due to their reprehensible deeds. The need for continuous scrutiny, rigorous background checks, and ethical training within law enforcement becomes imperative to prevent the recurrence of such heinous acts and to restore public faith in those sworn to protect and serve.